These are some nice digs. I could see doing a lot of things in here. Alex, get in here. Can't you see it, man? All the students sitting in all the chairs at all the tables, us up here teaching, all of our equipment here.
I do see it. Packed seats, turkey just steaming and smelling good.
Yeah.
Oh, let's get to chopping it up.
All right, y'all. Today's episode is a little different from our usual kitchen chaos.
Because if you didn't know, we just wrapped up our 4-week cooking class.
For our final class, we had to go big, so we brought in the legend herself, Barb Streeter, culinary director over at the Rescue Mission.
Barb came in here teaching us a whole new way to break down and prep that Thanksgiving turkey. Less mess, less stress, and no last-minute panic on the big day.
And since not everybody could make it in person, we got you!
Today, we're showing you exactly how Barb does it.
So go on, tap in, because this is how you level up your turkey game.
Chopping it up in the city style.
Alrighty, so I heard somebody when we first came in said, is that a chicken or a turkey? I'm like, what? No, I know it was hard to see in the bin that was in. So our topic on our classes was to try to get you a really nice Thanksgiving dinner without all the mess, without having to miss out on everything. You get to go watch the Lions game, you get to watch the parade, all the mess is gone and everything's done. And it's all about prepping and getting it done beforehand. You still having it fresh coming out of the oven. It'll be the best turkey you'll ever have. Purchasing one, obviously, you all heard last week, they still had them for 39 cents a pound at Meijer. I did hear a couple other places were having them really cheap as well. This is the time to buy it. And then a lot of people always ask, how do I know when to pull it out? Please don't be the kind who pulls it out and puts it in their sink for 24 hours. I've heard people tell me that. And I was like, no, don't do that. The nice thing is Butterball's got it out there all the time, depending on the amount of pounds your turkey is, how soon to pull it out. This is the day you should be pulling it out. And then the other thing you want to do is make sure you have it out so that you're cooking it at least the day before. You can do it 2 and 3 days before, guys. You could have that part totally done. So if you wanted to get it now, I mean, literally you could cook them off Monday. It's what we do. And then how big of a turkey do I need? What we got you is about a 15-pound turkey, and that's what they call an average size turkey. You don't have to wash your turkey. It all depends on the turkey. So if you're getting it from the wild and you get it from one of these butcher places and there's still some feathers in there, man, I'd be like pulling the rest of those feathers out and I would give it a good wash, okay? In your deep sink so you're not splashing it everywhere. But it's just like chicken, so you don't need to really wash it off. The way they've got them now, especially these that Meijer do or Butterball or any of them, they've got them already well prepped, well trimmed, everything. The only thing you'll have to do is just make sure you reach in and look to see, but it's all up in there normally. You're gonna see stuff up in there. This is the back right here is what we're talking about. To prep the bird, you definitely do, if you are gonna wash it and get all that stuff off, then make sure you pat it dry because you're gonna wanna take a thin layer. And that squeeze bottle I had, I usually just do that, put some on my hand and just rub all over the turkey, the top and the bottom of that. And then I hit it with that poultry seasoning all the way over. I literally lift the bird up, do it on the bottom as well. Now, I alluded to that before. The main reason is because in the cooking process, you're gonna get this beautiful broth. By doing this, you've set yourself up for the rest of the week even to make turkey noodle soup, this is a great base and a great broth just to use. If you want to just do a vegetable soup, whatever, it's great. You want to use that roaster, right? For the big turkey, but they're usually that oblong and there's so much room in there. So all your liquid just really dissolves and it's just gonna go away. So we had just the square that just fits the turkey just right and it's nice and deep. So you can find just a stock pot or something that's deeper like that can go in your oven. I would strongly suggest that. Now, this size bird took about 1 hour and 20 to get it nice and browned, but you get them that browned at the beginning. Again, not done, it's not cooked, nowhere near it, but what you're doing is because now this skin becomes this crispy, you can feel it on this wing here. It's nice, this nice crispy brown skin, and then that seals in the juices when you crisp that up like that. So that's a key part of the process. Then after that, It is all about, I take the pan that we have, and then we're gonna add, for this one in our pot, we added about a half a gallon of water, just right in on the sides, and then stuck that back in, and we turn it down to a low and slow. So the first one is like 350 in your regular oven. You do 350, and then you've got that process. Then after that, you're going to make sure it's covered. I definitely will baste it real quick. The first one through, put it back in, do it like a tenting. I don't know if you realize, but if that foil is touching your food, it's gonna interact with that foil and it starts breaking down. The foil actually gets into your food and it's a contaminant. That is a physical contaminant you don't wanna eat. That's what a lot of people are having troubles with. Give yourself lots of room in there, put that in your oven. Then you're gonna go down to a low and slow, depending on your oven. I loved the question last week. She was talking afterwards about, so when I tried it, you said we can put that chicken in the oven, but when I try, it gets burnt on the bottom. And I said, oh, I've been there. I know what you're talking about. That is either a really cheap sheet pan that you're putting it on. That happens. The kind that you find in your cabinet, it's all cockeyed and bent. Everybody knows that one. Get rid of that one. Invest in a nice one. Or you can look online and get those little baking mats, that silicone baking mats that can go on a cheap one like that. So if you want that, because then you can use that multi-purpose, you can put it out there. If you're gonna roll dough out, you can roll dough out on it. You can make pies and stuff like that. But the second thing is, depends on your oven. Please get to know your oven. Get yourself an oven thermometer. We just did it at ours. I found out that it's 50 degrees off. So, you know, you're putting it on for 350 and it's really only 300, or it could be up to 400. So you got to get to know your oven. Temp it. If it's running high, then if we say 350, turn it down to 320, 325, okay? But based on a regular oven, 350 to begin with, and then you're going to turn it down to, if your oven's running right at 350, I would probably do maybe 275 just to start. But what you're doing then, so this bird took 6 hours to get to this stage. So plan on that. So I get it in early, have it prepped the day before or whatever, and then get it in. And then you're just gonna, every hour, set that timer, come back and baste, check it. Don't always rely on the little button thing, just because that has flied up. What I have here, you can pretty much see, okay, the bird was like this. You got you've got the back that's through there. I think the back, it just came off and I just left it out, but you know, I've got my little legs here, okay? You can kind of see what I'm talking about. All right, so, but when you're pulling it out of the oven, so then I'm good at pretty much winging it, and you'll be doing it with the little tongs, but you're gonna pull that up. If this part of the cavity comes away from these, where it's just coming apart, that's when you know. I did play with a little bit, depends, like after that end, after a couple bastings and it's really moist, you could probably turn it back up. If you're like, man, I really want to get out of here, you can turn it back up to 350 even, you know, start maybe at 325 and it'll start cooking faster and faster just to get to that stage. I was like, I really want this part done. I want to get going on all the other stuff. So we did. All right, so then as you can see, stuff is literally just going to fall right off of the bone. Well, the other thing I wanted to say was, remember I said, if you're trying to present this beautiful turkey, you still can. It'll be a little difficult, but you could still get this out on one of those wooden platter things and present it that way. And then as everybody comes in and you're ready to, just pull that back up, put it on the counter and start tearing this off really quickly, throw it in a pan and you're good to go. So this process I'm going to tell you about and why it's so important. Not only do you get rid of all this carcass, it's gone and done, and stuff like that, but you're actually going to be, then what I had told you is you've got this beautiful turkey, and this is kind of this is all I had left, so it was hard to do it, but you're gonna have your full pan. When you take this off, so you can cut it nice in slices if you want, or you can just chunk it off. Get your little chunks of meat and start, you know, adding it to your pan. We do it kind of both ways because the dark meat's kind of hard and it's small little pieces, but it's delicious. So we'll make like a dark meat pan, a small pan of it, and then we take those breasts and we put them into chunks. And then all I did was do that, and I added that gravy to it, and then you put it back in the oven. So on prep day, all of this is done. You've done everything I'm about to show you. You put it in your pan, you add your gravy. On the day of, all you're doing is putting that in the oven. you pull this out and you've got a beautiful pan. So remember to put it in your really nice, pretty Thanksgiving one. I have some of those. I forget sometimes. And I'm like, oh, that's right. It's already in there. It's going right in the oven. And then you pull it out and you're putting this on the table. And I'm telling you what, just between the taste, people are not going to care that you didn't present this beautiful turkey. You're going to be the talk of the town when you test your turkey. And I wanted to show you, you don't have to put a lot of gravy. You don't want it swimming in that gravy. You just want to put enough that when you turn it over, it coats it a little bit. Just put the gravy all on top. As it bakes in the oven, it'll seep down into it, okay? It will have been in the refrigerator, so it takes a little longer, probably about an hour, I would gauge. So after you've got that gravy and you've poured it on there, meat's gonna come out delicious. And like I said, you can just make this. But the other thing I was gonna say was too, I mean, a lot of times, if you just want to pull this is the nastiest part and the hardest part to get off. Not when you cook it like I just did, because as you saw, I mean, we're talking, this stuff is just falling off the bone, guys. And this, the legs, have you guys ever tried to debone a turkey leg? It's got all those little veins of stuff in there. Look at this meat, guys. I don't have to do anything. It is delicious. It just falls right off the bone. There is no worry. All those little pieces that are in between all these little bones, look at that. It just slides right off. And we're talking, it's just delicious that way, but it's also easy to debone. And within minutes, you're done. And you can either save those things. I'm sure Andrea will tell you what to do with them. Yes, I'm telling you. Let me show you why you need to be cautious. Look at these. Yes. I totally agree. This is something you want to know about turkey legs. It's not like a chicken leg. This is different. This is one of my points I was going to say.
Do not give poultry bones to your dogs.
Yeah, I know. Okay. So let me tell you, and it's so economical. You get every bit of meat off of this. When you try and you don't cook it this way, ladies, you're wasting a lot of meat. So this thing is every bit there. I'm just telling you, this is going to be hard to handle because it literally is it's just coming off. I have done that as well. When I've been in Bay City, we don't serve quite as many. So I will, this for sure, don't take that skin off. Just because there's people that go, oh, I love that skin and stuff like that. Especially if you're doing it crispy like this. Yes, that's for sure. So did you like the turkey? Yes. Better than anything you've put out, right? I mean, I'm telling you, this is the way to go. And remember, I kept telling you, this is the time to get some of those things. Now, next week, last minute shoppers, they're not going to have that kind of benefit. Prices will be jacked back up, but you still have time. You still have time. They're still there. So do that for sure.